Hello here from Berlin. We are here at the KM Global Track. Welcome. And we'd like to present to you today Professor Eric Tsui from the Polytech University in Hong Kong. And he will present to us today technologies for facilitating knowledge creation and learning in the digital era. Maybe you want to say some other words to yourself.
Of course.
Over to you.
Thank you, Hilda. I remember that this track is, specifically created for knowledge creation. So it has to be a dedicated focus to knowledge creation. I also know that in general, Germany has, a particular strong emphasis and interest in KM technology. So I thought I'd bring the two things together and perhaps use a short time to update everybody about what I believe to be very instrumental and important in the use of technologies, latest technologies, including AI and others, to help with knowledge creation and learning. So that's the rationale behind the design of this talk. Well, firstly, let me point out the obvious. We're excited about innovation, we are excited about learning, and also knowledge management. And here is the link. I believe that learning is the first important element. We learn all the time. We have to learn all the time. Continuous learning, and through learning, we develop different perspective. We expand our knowledge, we broaden our exposure, we have to connect the dots, and we can develop different perspectives to appreciating different types of concepts, situations, and so forth. And out of many creative ideas, hopefully there comes with a successful one, which we can operationalize it as a kind of tangible innovation. And of course, when innovation success comes through, we have the sweet taste of champagne and all that stuff. And ultimately, success in innovation should bring economic development to the individual, to the team, to the company, to the country, to the society, and to the world, right? So, in a nutshell, if we focus strong enough on learning, and we're doing the things right, then ultimately we should lead to success with economic development. So in this path, I believe the three most important things here are learning, knowledge, and innovation. So let's focus on these three things. And I always tell my students that if we focus on these three terms at the deep level, we shouldn't need to worry about other things, because we can solve a lot of problems by exploring in depth about the intrinsic relationships between knowledge, learning, and innovation. Now, coming to knowledge management, if I make it simple, we break it down to different processes. And today's talk, as I said, is specifically on mapping out how technologies can enhance knowledge creation. Well, interestingly, when you talk about knowledge creation, many things actually come into the perimeter of knowledge creation. So, for example, conducting an experiment, solving a problem, analyzing a situation, connecting the dots, brainstorming, carrying out experimentation. All these are knowledge creation. So it's wonderful. There's so many opportunities that we can create knowledge. Not necessarily we have to create a big piece of knowledge or even a document, but sparkling new ideas, helping the synapses in our brain to connect. It's already a kind of knowledge creation. So coming back to the technological side, for the last 3 years, I think, everyone would know that AI is so pervasive, and it covered the sky. So, make no mistake, I also cover AI, in fact, in a big way in this talk. Looking at that, I will look at how AI can be applied to knowledge creation and learning. The second area that I explore is gamification. Now, straightly speaking, you may say that gamification is not a technology. You're right, okay? But I'm applying, the generative AI to gamification. The third area that I would also like to share with everybody is about the use of technology on extended reality. In this case, metaverse, virtual reality, augmented reality, and more to assist in learning and knowledge creation. In terms of leveraging technologies for enhancing learning, in other words, e-learning and blended learning, technology is not new. We came a long way from, I would say, 15, 20 years ago. on purely linking people up with information, helping to search for learning content, creating learning content, uploading learning content, and downloading learning content, to now, using analytics to analyze learners' behavior, to early predict any learning problem by any learner, to personalize, the learning path and learning content to each individual learner. So there you go. In my demonstration later in this session, I will cover how AI can be used to generate a specific learning path for various purposes in different learning environments, and also generating a personalized learning tutor for each of the knowledge workers. The second area that I'd like to do as a bit of a demonstration is, gamification. Gamification, to me, it makes a lot of sense to enhance learning. Why? Because gamification often, if used in the right way, enhance motivation of our learners. So these days, I don't know about in Germany, it's not easy in Hong Kong to keep up the interest about learning for all students. Of course, there are always students who are very eager to learn, but I have to say that there are students who are less so eager to learn. So I find that with the use of gamification, at least I can resurrect a lot of the learning vibes inside learners and make them far more motivated, and also gradually developing a trait for continuous and lifelong learning. Then, as I said, the third area that I would like to cover is about extended reality. Surreal and immersive learning environment. It offers ample opportunities for all learners to learn more, to explore, to imagine, and to fantasize, situations which are otherwise in a physical environment or in a virtual environment alone cannot be simulated. So I think that's a wonderful opportunity. And I was going to share with you some of the things that I've done in this particular area as well. All right, so as I said, I'm going to use the remaining time to go into a little bit more detail about those three things that I have tried out, which I believe is very instrumental to equipping learners and knowledge workers in the next era. So the first thing that I would like to share with you is, using generative AI, ChatGPT in this particular case, to stage competition. So as I said, to enhancing students' motivation, it's a key part in the design rationale that I adopt competition. Other reasons being that I would like to broaden my students' knowledge horizon, as well as arouse their curiosity, and hope that they can also develop a learning trait to learn from multiple sources and also learn in a continuous way, well beyond the passing of a semester. So that is for gamification. Competition, if being designed properly, it can enhance learning and knowledge retention, and you can always enhance motivation as well. And in particular, with the use of generative AI, it allows me to design competition in a very flexible and dynamic ways. And I will show you exactly what I've done there. Well, looking back, these are experiments that I carried out about 1.5 to 2 years ago. And in retrospect, I thought that, I was very brave and a bit silly, silly enough to put myself in the ring, and be challenged by ChatGPT. My students got very excited. I said to them that, look, I want to stage a competition about my knowledge with ChatGPT, silly me. And we do it live. And then you can be the judgment. You can cast the judgment. You, my students, in other words, they will cast the judgment as to who actually win. Right, I did that with several classes, and one of the classes I did it is via a virtual classroom over Zoom with University of Stellenbosch in South Africa. So students from South Africa, to participate in this competition. And the way it works is, I pre-design it. I can pre-design, or I can ask ChatGPT to pre-generate as well. But I would still run my eyes over it to make sure that they make sense and appropriate. All right. So questions are pre-generated. That's what I mean. Okay. And students can pick a set of questions they would like to go through during the competition. So during the competition, one by one, each question is being asked. Firstly, I respond, followed by ChatGPT's response. And with no knowledge from me, student then complete a survey, a feedback. Professor's answer is better, ChatGPT's answer is better, or the combined resource is better, combined response is better. So that it's repeated until all the questions are over, and only then I'm being shown the result. So it's quite stressful. This is the first part of the session. It's a competition. Excuse me. And the competition is deliberately scheduled towards the end of the semester, because that allows me to use questions that supposedly articulate many of the concepts that we have taught in that subject. And in this case, is knowledge management. So as I said, the first part is the competition. And the second part is discussions and reflections based on group discussions by the students. Maybe a little bit too small, but doesn't matter. Just to give you an idea, these are some of the questions that I've already designed. These questions, as I said, can also be generated by ChatGPT in real time as well to add to the excitement, right? But these questions have to be open-ended. They have to be fair to the software, fair to the general AI software. Why? I would avoid using questions that are beyond the training set. I only use open-end questions, okay? So students pick, which questions they would like to use to go through for the competition between me and ChatGPT. And in the past, I believe a 3-hour session can usually accommodate between 6 to 8 questions. All right. So anyway, on this occasion, students have picked all the most popular ones. So, for example, what's this one? Number 10 or 10 votes. Are there standards for knowledge management that should be adopted? Accepted. Knowledge strategy, which one comes first? That was also accepted.
The slide is a bit tilted. It's not fully
It's
loaded.
deliberate.
Maybe can. Oh, it's still a bit. Okay.
Okay. Not too formal, Germany, please.
No worries.
Yeah, that's why we introduced some or included some international speakers. We got to be challenged every now and then.
Too regimented. All right. So it's fingernail biting, because now is the 10th time after all the questions are being answered, I get shown the result. Remember, I don't know how the student writes my response compared to ChatGPT's response until all the responses are all the questions are being asked. So luckily or fortunately, my students still write a higher value for my responses than the ChatGPT's response. But repetitively, you can see that the red bar, which represents the third response, which is combined response is better, warrant further attention, and that is serious. Well, that to me that students should appreciate that the professor's answer may not always be the best, and ChatGPT's one also not necessarily the best, right? But the combined response make a lot of sense. Okay, so that is something that I'm actively looking into as well, and my students appreciate it. So now they know that what the professor said in class may not be the Bible. There could be additional sources of quality information that they should be seeking as well. So in a way, that I believe that's a very good change in mentality in learning among my students. So they provide other feedback as well. And interestingly, as I said in the second part of the session, the students engage in group discussions. What do they discuss? They discuss about the appropriateness, completeness of the responses, how to design the prompts, right? How to frame a question properly, potential ethical issues, confidentiality issues, potential bias, and more. So I'm not going to read all of them, but you can see that basically feedback from students are very positive, and I'll continue with this kind of experiment. If the opportunity arises, I love to conduct this with a German class, if possible, in the future. In terms of benefits, I believe the use of ChatGPT as a competition with the teacher has enhanced engagement and confidence with my students, as well as motivation. It helps to articulate knowledge in different parts of the course, covered in different weeks, and it enhanced my students' critical thinking skills, among other types of skills as well. And in particular, I'm not sure about German students, but in Asian students' environment, typically students are introverts, so they rarely ask. They are hesitant to contradict what the teacher have said, even though that they suspect that it may not be right. So this is a wonderful opportunity for my students to realize that the professor's answer may not be the best, may not be complete, and sometimes be wrong. So they have alternative source to validate it, to reinforce it, or to supplement it. So I think that is a wonderful thing. So much for the first area. And if you want to read more, I have a short article in Times Higher Education, and you are welcome to access that article through this QR code. Right, the second area that I would like to go through is the use of a metaverse for learning, okay? And I'm not sure whether you've used metaverse before. Metaverse is known for its deep immersive environment and surreal. It is particularly enriching in terms of enabling listening, communicating, collaborating, and also exploring, discovering, and all the rest. So many universities have found ways to use metaverse for various purposes, as you can see on this screen. And if you want examples of which universities have applied this, I'm more than happy to provide them. But now is not the time to go through that in detail. I'll start using metaverse to reinforce my presentation about 2 years ago as well. And you can see from here, I deliberately packed all my presentations, including the total PowerPoint and selective slides, and mount on the wall of a big room. Okay, the idea is, it helps to attract students to come collectively and remain in this room so that they can not only watch the presentation, but they can linger and discuss. They can revisit some of the key slides. They can leave questions for me, and I regularly go back to the metaverse and study the questions and provide answers. Right. So you can imagine that this is a much better environment than giving the student a link to a repository to download the PowerPoint. Similarly, the knowledge camp, you could have done something like this. For knowledge camp, where you put the speaker's presentation and then put up a wall for note taking, for question answering, so that it becomes a more perpetual environment for people to come back again to discuss, to review, and to leave questions and wait for the responses. So armed with that success, I was lucky enough to be given further funding to do a more decent metaverse project. And in that project, I separate into 3 categories of role for further research study. The first one is, I study about how to use a large metaverse gallery, a large room, right, an exhibition hall, right, and contains all the features that people need, and have sufficient space to mount whatever content I want to put in there. So similar to the concept that I shown you just now, the idea is to attract or provide a place where people will come to as a hub, to linger, to discuss, to meet each other on a ongoing basis. And they don't have to leave the place. Much of what they want to find out, what they want to read, what they want to learn, what they want to discuss, what they want to ask can be done in that room. The second metaverse environment that it's a metaverse collaboration, and similarly to breakout rooms in Zoom. Breakout rooms is useful, but it's boring. Because they are flat, they are vanilla, they don't have any decoration. So in metaverse gallery, metaverse collaboration, I design and customize different breakout rooms. In metaverse, which can be connected together, and depending on the theme, depending on the need, students will be sent to different roles, which are already properly equipped with the relevant content, with the relevant tools, and with the relevant activities for them to pursue their learning. And we find that this is more effective than just giving them a plain room to do the discussion. The third one is we call it metaverse technologies. To make it simple, it's another environment where we deliberately want to test under what situations in terms of arrangement of objects, in terms of activities, in terms of learning content, that wearing and not wearing any hardware device make a lot of difference in learning. Okay, if you understand what I mean. Typically, you wear, if you need to wear, you wear the goggles, right? And that's one of the standard equipment for people who are entering a metaverse. But the ones that we use, you can either wear it or you don't wear it. But interestingly enough, we study about the factors and the learning content, the activities that make a lot of difference if your students are wearing versus the students are not wearing. So that also, as you can imagine, the result would help our colleagues, our teachers, to better understand under what situation they should be providing or instructing their students to wear or not wear goggles in order to engage in the metaverse activities. All right, the result has been very positive as well. And this is a short sharing by a student, by avatar of a student. The words actually come from the student, but what you see is an avatar. It's as a sideline, avatar technology is also getting very popular. Look at this avatar. I can even configure it to speak with a Singaporean accent.
The metaverse has brought me a higher participation level because there are more clear voice and the information shown on the screen, which helped me to know about what the teacher was saying. And what's more, the question made me more focused on the content which the teachers were teaching.
Right. So, definitely the students appreciate that. And we are continuing with this kind of experiment as well. The other findings about the metaverse, I can mention a little bit, but it's not the main thrust of this talk. It is important that we provide proper preparation for the students, even go back to some training, right? Because, you cannot assume that all students know how to move, right, inside the metaverse. And instructions have to be very clear. Activities have to be well aligned with the objectives. And also the teachers' participation and technical support are also important. So finally, I want to talk about the Socratic Playground for Learning, which is a personalized tutor software based on ChatGPT that would enable any learner to caliber his or her personal tutor, and he or she can engage with this personal tutor to learn whatever concepts that he or she wishes to learn. Well, of course, the writings on the wall here in academia, we are quite stressed. We are quite stressed that with the use of ChatGPT or with the the insertions of ChatGPT, how to prevent our students just using the software without thinking, right? And that if that's the case, that would be the start of the downfall, of academia, of tertiary education, and also for the individual. I hate to think that hopefully this will not materialize. The next generation keyboard will just have a red button, ChatGPT solution. You don't need to think. But it's a grim situation. The latest research from MIT does show that after using ChatGPT as a control group versus another group which is not using ChatGPT, the brain scan does show that those who are not using ChatGPT have higher brain activity than those who have been consistent using ChatGPT, right? So that's a worry. That's a real worry. Okay. All right. So what is the Socratic Playground for Learning? I think the first word already gave it away. Now here I'm not giving a lecture on e-learning or learning theories, but just so to alert you to Socratic learning is a method that that's been based for more than 1,000 years, originated by the Greek philosopher Socrates, right? So Socratic learning is about not giving out the answers, but instead guiding the learner through a sequence of questions a sequence of structured question, cascading, as well as with feedback, so that the learner, is being enlightened to deduce the answer himself or herself, right? So instead of just giving the answer, you carefully guide the learner to the next step, exploring the question that is related to what he or she is asking, and then helping him or her to solve the puzzle, and finally, to enlighten with the answer. So when we apply that to software, to applying GAI to personalized learning using Socratic learning, you can see that GAI software can help to generate learning topics, learning content, learning path based on particular learning environment, and you can also help to conduct assessment, immediately or collectively over a period of sessions about the learner's performance. You can also track, report, monitor the learner's progress. So, it's not software developed by myself, it's a software developed by my director, Professor Hu. He came from University of Memphis. So he's a very technical professor and very fluent in the use of ChatGPT. So he developed this Socratic Playground for Learning software that, as you can run your eyes over the bullet point, it engages user in a conversational dialogue using the Socratic method, propose set of topics for the person to learn, generate subtopics, generate learning content, recommend various pedagogies to deliver the teaching and learning of that chosen learning environment and the topic, and ultimately, monitor the sessions for each of the learners, and then tally up the performance to generate a scorecard for that learner. And of course, the learner can review that scorecard, and the teacher can also review that scorecard as well. So you're about to see snapshots of the demonstration of the SPL. And just to give you a heads up, part of the demonstration will show how the SPL is collecting input in order to configure its personalized services. So language option, academic discipline, subdiscipline, the aim of the learning content itself, the background of the participant, in other words, the level of knowledge, the qualifications and experience of the learner, learning environment. You want to learn it in person, you want to learn it online, you want to learn it via bulletin board, you want to learn it via e-learning or any other means. As well as the teaching methodology, that if the learner choose to learn, for example, not just based on Socratic method, but he or she may want to learn it via competition, via a gamification, via, in the US, there's a Jeopardy game, which is giving you the answer and you have to guess the question, okay? Or learning in a simulated environment where you, as the human learner, is surrounded by other bots, a number of other bots, including the teacher and other tutors, which show different capabilities and characteristics. Okay, so as I said, I'm going to skip through or jump through part of the demonstration because normally I give this as a 2 hours or 3 hours workshop. But as you can appreciate, I'm condensing all this into a 30 minutes or less presentation. So happy to do another one later on. All right, so this is the part where it's collecting the output or it's collecting the input, getting the stereotype of the learner, exactly what you want to learn and under what environment and so forth. So assuming that we choose a Socratic method, all right. So now it's got to generate the content explaining what is the Socratic method. And based on the concept that I've chosen, on the left-hand side, you can see, this vertical list are the related concept as a learner that I should visit and find out more about the terms that are related to what I really want to learn. I can go more. When I pick one of the terms, you see that you will build up a horizontal learning path as well about another list of terms that are related to the term that I have chosen. So you can stop anytime, you can rearrange them anytime, and you can continue the session anytime by saving them as bookmarks. All right, so when you click one of these terms, Okay, so I can click on this colorful round button there, and then it starts to go into a conversational dialogue to help me understand or better understand that term. So you can see that the dialogue is coming through. It first gives me some basic learning content, and whenever I'm puzzled about that, why this concept comes up, and why do you ask me to study this, you can interact with it in natural language, and the software will again come back and reinforce that particular point, explaining to you why I'm giving you this scenario, why elements of this scenario is related to the concept that you are learning or you want to learn.
So what kind of tool is this?
It's based on ChatGPT, but of course, they've got a whole interface about it, so you don't need to worry about prompts. You can come back to me later after the presentation, and I'll give you a link so that you can sign up an account and try, okay?
You can post it into chat if you want.
Okay, later.
Later on.
When we finish.
Later on.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay. So as you can see, there are various support offering as well. I don't have time to do it, but on the top right-hand side, you can see that it can swing into consultation mode, explaining to you, why they are asking these questions, elaborating on the scenario, telling the teacher which parts that the students often have problems, and reasons why the students got it wrong. So it can help both the teacher and the student. And the most interesting part that I like, personally, the most interesting part is the customization. And let me see if I can show you. That's it. That is the customization. I think it's this button here. If it is live, when I press that, you'll go into a conversational dialogue and ask me, where do I live? What do I like? Do you like sushi? What other habits you have? It collect a bunch of questions about the very individual, me in this case, the learner. And then once it absorbs that information, it will digest it. And then from now on, all the scenario will be customized, right? Customized to your locality. So tonight, Eric, you're going to get pizza from this place, and have you learned about this and that and things like that. So it's truly personalizing the whatever information interacting with you to your very local context, okay, and very individually as well.
Mm.
All right, so let me wrap up very quickly. I'm very excited about all these tools, but in particular with this Socratic Playground for Learning, I think we have every reason to be joyful because learners are acquiring skills, not just to better their own learning, but developing consciousness, right? And we say metacognition, consciousness about learning, about method to learn. So I think this is a wonderful opportunity. But behind the scene, I'm also worrying as a teacher. Why? Because you can see that we started from the reality, which is the left-hand side. Teacher-led training, teacher-led teaching, okay? And teacher decides everything, decides the content, decides the topic, decides the teaching method. But on the right-hand side, you can see that AI is taking over. And AI is taking over by empowering our learners. So more and more learners are doing things that originally only teachers, trained professionals are doing. Curriculum design, learning content and sequencing, learning environment, deciding the learning goals, deciding the learning method, and more. Are our students properly equipped and competent to carry out this? I am very doubtful. But as we all know, technology, especially AI, is running away from us faster than we can catch up. So this is a big worry at the moment. See, metacognition about the shift from teacher-led training to student-centric learning. So all these questions are unanswered, and they will have serious impact on future learning, especially, at the secondary and tertiary level. All right, just to wrap up, final slide here. The combination of things that I've talked about, in other words, gamification, metaverse, and the use of personalized learning tool using generative AI help to improve knowledge retention and understanding. Not only that, they enhance engagement and motivation. They help learners to develop critical skills, definitely providing channels for continuous feedback and improvement, nurturing a lifelong learning trait. These tools are highly scalable, and accessibility is also guaranteed. Depending on how you design it, you can also claim inclusiveness as well. And finally, I think with the use of these tools, we are starting to prepare the learners, knowledge workers for the next generation. But again, there are other considerations and worries that we have to attend to. And with that, I'd like to finish my presentation and pass it back to you, Hilda. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, any questions from the audience here? There's one person online. Maybe we'll start here first. Comments?
Thank you, Professor, for your talk. That was a lot of fun. Gamification in itself, very inspiring. Do you know if there are any people working or researching on that shift that you mentioned in the last part, that shift from the learner needs to have competencies that usually the teacher would provide during him learning about something? Is there a research group or people
not very
working on
active
that?
at the moment.
All right,
Sporadically, there are papers in Nature and in Science that you may find some short articles about it, but nothing, as far as I know, nothing too concrete at the detail level. At the moment, unfortunately, nearly all academics are too focused at the operational level.
Yeah.
And the operational
Interesting.
level is, how to ensure students are using it the right way, how to detect plagiarism. And I'm saying that there's a bigger wave of problem coming through.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. That was very interesting because I think there's some universities, especially here in Berlin, that specialize on research pertaining future or the future of learning. And I'm not sure if they are on that yet.
Yeah,
so
to cover
thank
this
you for-
space, yeah.
Yeah, I think, that inspired.
Perhaps you can
lot of
alert
thought.
them, and if they're interested, I'm happy to connect with them. I hope to connect with them.
Yeah, I think I might. That is an old professor of mine who I think would be best to contact pertaining that, and I might just throw out your name and see if they are
Better to find a
interested
young
in-
professor. Old professor will retire soon.
It's
a-
university.
It's the Free University
Yeah.
of Berlin. They have
Right,
a
okay,
research group
yes.
on
FU.
future.
Freie University, yeah. FU.
Yeah, FU, and it's a research group. The professor was the one teaching me, so that's the only one that
Right, and
that I
I
have
know
in
some
mind. But
researchers
I
at Potsdam University. Potsdam University is also working on
Yeah.
this.
Yes, of
yeah,
course.
yeah, yeah.
Peter Heisig, yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much.
He's there today as well. Claudia is online. Do you have any questions? Sorry. All good? Hello? Okay. Any comments? No. Maybe Lucas has some more comments.
Do I? No. Thanks, Professor, for the insights. Being with my dad just retiring from teaching at uni for many years, right? There's plenty of thoughts going through my head, right? The whole shift of he was teaching Greek and Latin, right? So maybe not as tech affine as you, but I think he should know plenty of things about Socrates in that sense, right? But I think and there's a drastic shift in. My impression is that there's a drastic shift of how we should perceive education, right? Because and we see that as knowledge managers in our daily life, right? We need to. I mean, right now what we do is teaching our organization how to do a better job, right? How to work more effectively.
Yeah,
and
how
efficiently
to
together,
enjoy the
right?
automation.
Yeah, exactly, right. And in the end, I mean, I think the same shift needs to go through what you say, what you told from the university point of view, right? To use the technology for the better, whilst not forgetting about the technology and human connection piece, right?
Continued use of AI will
yeah.
not equip the student about knowledge about how to make those decisions.
Yeah, exactly.
It will not. It requires specialized training.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we need to train them to do a better job as students, right? So,
Yeah.
or to, yeah, I mean,
So it's a
and
looming
also
danger. It's
about
a big
pitfalls,
problem
right?
coming through.
Yeah, interesting. Thanks.
Hi, Rajesh. Hi from
Hello.
Singapore.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, of
Yes,
course.
we can hear you. Very good.
Raj, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Yeah, maybe from my perspective, I must say for Hong Kong, no, for Germany actually, to say that metaverse in itself is not have taken up yet that much.
Yeah.
You could say maybe Corona times would have been a trigger, but the schools or universities as well were more struggling than having it all then online, and especially the teachers' skills were lacking for making that all happen. And then on top of that, with the VR goggles, yeah, you would also need them in the first place, right? You would have to buy them. Yeah, I haven't seen anything yet that
Yeah.
some educational information is available on Metaverse. So that was really great and interesting to see.
Yeah, and I think that's also a bit of a global. I think it's also a bit of a regional topic, right? I used to study in Bangkok in 2012 or so, and I had the feeling that digitization was already much further over there back in the days than where we are right now in Germany, right? So I think that's quite yeah, we got plenty work to do, let's say, on digitization and in general, right? But yeah, I see that a bit on my daily practice, right? In the engineering space and production and so on, digital factory. I think there we see some glimpses of metaverse being used, right? And for edge computing and whatnot, right? But I think the educational sector, I think we're far away, honestly, right? Still trying to figure out why we should think about remote settings and so on, right? So yeah, it's a bit of a feels like a bit of a travel in time at some point, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anna, you want to wrap us up quickly?
Or you want to?
Good.
Okay. Claudia, last chance. You want to say something? It's online.
No.
No contribute? No. Okay. So thank you very much, Eric, for your presentation and explanation. And yes, let's see how we can combine this seemingly contradiction between a learner, teacher, and the roles. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, and I'll talk to you later. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye to Hong Kong.